Hey, what's going on, my nerds and collectors alike? We are back at it again, doing another review from the Marvel Legends line. Today we are taking a look at the Disney Plus Wave What If selection. This is the only live-action figure from the Wave. This is Sylvie, the Loki variant, which I feel like she should have come in the other Disney Plus Wave, the Captain America Build-A-Wing Wave, but here we are. So we have the Loki TV series logo there. It says Marvel's Sylvie. This is from Disney Plus. In the package here, we have the Watcher's cloak. We have her woven dagger there. We look like we have some extra hands in the package. Looking very good. On the top there, you have Loki's helmet on the nice embossed against the black there. On this side, we have a drawn-up picture of Sylvie. On the other side of the packaging, we have that same image. On the back, of course, we have that same image, but in its full stature there. We do have a description that says, Marvel's Sylvie. Laser-focused and relentless, Sylvie is the TVA's most formidable villain who has vowed to burn the organization to the ground. Which, as everybody knows at this point, she is a Loki variant. She was kidnapped, and the TVA is run by King the Conqueror's variant, the one who remains. So, that's all fun and cool there. On the back of the package here, we have the other figures in the line. I won't be doing any of these, just because I only wanted Sylvie. I'm more of a live-action MCU kind of guy. So, none of these really interest me. We'll probably end up getting a live-action version of this version of Doctor Strange here, just because of Multiverse of Madness. But down here at the bottom, we have your warnings. Not for children under 3 years. All that fun stuff. On the bottom there, you got your barcodes, unreadables, legalese, warnings. All the fun things. So let's crack open Sylvie and see what kind of chaos she causes. Alright, and here we have Sylvie out of the packaging and displayed with a couple of her accessories here. Getting a closer look, as you can see that her cape here is just an overlay, which kind of sucks because with it being an overlay like this, it's basically just a traffic cone. So, taking that off and setting that aside, actually, you know what, we'll take a close look at this real quick. It is done well, the shape is nice, and it does drape over her, as you would expect. The only downside is that it is a rubber-ish plastic, not very soft. You can't really do anything with it, so it traps her arms and her legs in there. You do have the hood sculpted on the back, and on the top right there, where it would show the inside without the figure displayed in it, it is a lighter green color. Really wish we would have gotten this in soft goods, though, so I probably won't be using that. Going ahead and getting her weapon out of here. First, we will change out her hand, just so we can get to those at a later date. Getting her in close, we do have the nice face printing tech to depict Sylvie here. She does have her crown with the broken horn, which is very nice to see. I like the little details that I can add here. We do have some dry brushing and different shades of yellow in her hair, so that's very nice to see. And I always like that she ties her hair up when she's about to get into a fight, so it's cool to have the little bun on top there. But that is a very nice sculpt all around, and because it is short hair, we do get some very free articulation with that. Looking very nice there. Nice clean paint. The eyes especially are nice piercing blue. So that's very cool to see. As you can see, she does have basically just a variation of the Loki costume that we're all used to seeing, with the leather armor, except hers is obviously a bit worn and beat up, just because she's been on the run for so long. She does have long sleeves here going over top of an undershirt with some interesting ring designs on there, and that is on each side. And then down to her fingerless gloves on each side. No real detail on there. You can obviously see that it is sculpted to have the fingers. Mine, the paint missed just a little bit, but it still gets the idea across, so what are you going to do? She does have a belt there going across the bottom, and then she just has some nice baggy pants tied down into some combat boots, so she can remain flexible while she's kicking the TVA's ass. On the back here, we do not have any paint, but we do get the Tide sculpting for the back of the vest there. And obviously we do have a darker midnight blue for the under pieces, and then for her pants and such, we get a darker, almost purplish color, like a deep purple, almost black kind of color. And then we have the grayish green for her armor. So that's very nice to see. Always have some good detail with the MCU figures. Getting into articulation here, her head is on the new dumbbell joints, but because her hair is short and also kind of malleable, you do not have any hindrances, so she can look up that far. She can look down that far. Of course, she has 360 rotation and some always welcome to see pivot and tilt. So you can get some pretty expressive positions there. It's always nice to see that a figure can look to the left or the right and up at the same time. So that's always nice. Her arms can rotate 360. Sadly, there are no butterfly joints, but we do get the pinless joints. So this is one of the last female figures that came out before Hasbro has started doing the double jointed elbows and such for the female figures. So still a good figure, but she's right on that edge where she missed out on some of the new advancements. Her arms can extend that far out. No bicep rotation. Single jointed elbow that can bend in a little bit past 90. There is rotation at the elbow. Her wrists for her outreaching hand or enchanting hand, and then also for her fist, can rotate 360, and these two hands are on a horizontal in and out hinge, whereas the gripping hands that she is included with have the hinge that goes vertically for weapon wielding, which is very nice to see. She has a diaphragm joint that will allow you to crunch forward that far. She can crunch back that far, so a little bit more back than forward. There is no waist swivel, so this diaphragm joint will also give you your rotation as well as some tilt. So when these are executed well, you do get some nice movement out of those. So not the worst thing to see. Her legs kick forward this far, just a little bit less than 90. She does not kick back at all, just due to hindrance of the sculpt. She can kick out, roughly 45 degrees. She does have a thigh rotation, double jointed knees with the pinless joints that articulate all the way up so she can kick herself in the back. She has a boot rotation, which is very nice to see. I wish every figure would come with boot rotation. Her ankles kick back that far. They kick forward this far, so that's very nice to see. You can get her in some low crouching poses here. And of course, she has ankle pivot. So she has fairly standard female figure articulation, but it works. There is some pretty good movement out of her, and you'll get pretty much all the poses you want. I do know Cosmic Capes over on Instagram has a cloth variant of her cloak. The only downside to that is he is a UK seller, so getting those products over here to the US is a bit more expensive. Otherwise, I would have purchased one and included it in this review. Sorry, Cosmic, this time around, just a little bit too broke, couldn't afford it, so if you're watching this, good looking man. Hopefully some other people with a little bit more flexibility in their wallets this time around will be able to purchase some of your stuff, because you do make quality stuff. Looking here, Sylvie obviously is included with 2 gripping hands that also have the fingerless glove sculpt on there. And as stated before, she does have the up and down hinges on those hands. And she also comes with her sword, which has nice Nordic runes sculpted into the hilt and the base of the blade there. And her pommel appears to be Fenrir, so that's very cool looking. I do like the nice ethereal blue color here. Looks like it's even got some metallic flakes in the plastic there, so that gives it a nice mystic look. Very cool looking. Popping off her hand here and putting her sword-wielding hand on is very easy. And luckily, these hands are made of a softish rubber, so all you've got to do is I like to come in from the back and just slip that in to try to avoid any paint rub. And because of the way her hands are hinged, you can get nice straight poses with her blade there. Obviously, you can also do the backhand grip that I had in the beginning. But Sylvie does get her sword, and I like to call this the enchanting hand, where she's reaching out and casting some kind of Loki magic. So it's very cool to see that Sylvie here comes equipped with everything you need from her. It would be cool if we got some green magic effect pieces. That'd be cool to see, just to have something to go on her enchanting hands. But I'm not going to complain. We still get additional hands here. They did try to include the cloak. We have her sword. So we have basically everything we would necessarily need. So we'll go ahead and have Sylvie standing up right there. And we will go ahead and get into some comparisons here. Just because Sylvie is also the Enchantress in the MCU, as well as Lady Loki. Here we have her next to the Scarlet Witch, if Wanda would like to stand up. There we go. So there she is next to Scarlet Witch. They are roughly the same height. I think Sylvie might just be ever so slightly taller than Wanda. Here we have her with her brother from another universe. Here is Thor from Endgame. And she reaches basically just about to his shoulder, a little bit taller. So that's cool to see that Thor is taller than our female Loki, Sylvie, here. Here we have her with her father, Odin, which even Odin stands a bit taller than she is, which Odin is kind of a shorter guy in the MCU. So that's nice to see. Those look pretty good together. Go ahead and get Odin out of here. Here we have her with Loki in a similar costume that she is wearing at the moment. And obviously our Tom Hiddleston male Loki is taller than Sylvie. But that's cool to see these two together. So say you wanted a Loki in a combat uniform, they would look fairly similar in their styles here. And last but not least, here we have Loki from the Loki TV series next to Sylvie. It would be cool to see a variant of him without the jacket, and that includes his flaming sword, but until then, like I said in my Loki review, I'm just using the comic Loki sword, just because I can. But those two are looking pretty good together. All in all, I know this is a slightly shorter review, but I do enjoy the figure a lot. She is a very welcome addition to the collection, and when her character was debuted, I liked it very, very much. I think she is a nice foil to the male counterpart of Loki, and I would definitely like to see more of her in Loki Season 2. So signing off here, before we go, I want to make sure that everybody knows that this channel and all of its content are not for anybody below the ages of 13 years old. YouTube guidelines, all that, you know, the fun stuff. Happy collecting, everybody. Stay safe.